Hey folks, welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. Today we got Jeff Glucker in studio. Glucker is an old pal, runs the Hooniverse, as well as he is the new host of Head to Head Drag Race with Johnny Lieberman on Motor Trend. We talk about it's a nighttime show, so we're drinking whiskey. It goes all over the place. We talk about old weird cars. We talk about guitars. We talk about rooftop tents and cargo boxes. We talk about mountain bikes. This one is a winding road, folks, with Jeff Glucker from Hooniverse and Motor Trend's head-to-head drag race on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
Does it go live on Patreon?
Yes.
Oh,
Live,
cool.
Live if you pay for a fucking ticket, just like the Formula One Grand Prix. You can only see it if you've paid.
You see tickets are down like 30%
I wrote that.
price?
I wrote Vegas prices, tickets coming way down.
Yeah, they're like $1,000 now, which is still a lot. But
yeah, but it's like, when they first went on sale and whatever, it was like $50,000, the $5 million package at Caesars, and the fucking one that comes with 12 hookers and a kilo.
They're expecting like Ocean's 11 grade whales rolling into town, and
instead it's all like broke auto journalists,
people who act like fans of the sport.
Right. I texted a little bit with Chris Harris this morning. Name drop, but he was like, "Mate, it's a shambles."
we've now heard that from people that live in Vegas, live on the East Coast, and now Chris. Like I've heard that from two different PR people in the States. They're like, it's a mess.
But I'll tell you what, yesterday I went down to CXC Simulations.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to them.
Yes.
Because Aston Martin, in their eternal kindness, have given me an opportunity for a 20-minute session on the track. Not a lead follow, not a parade lap.
Nobody
a real,
in the right seat.
No, a real go. And they said, "Do you want to do this?" And I stood my ground like George fucking Zimmerman. No, I stood my ground. Yeah, not like George Zimmerman.
So you didn't deserve to stand your ground.
Yeah,
is that what you're
I
saying?
did not murder someone for
Right.
wearing a hoodie and eating Skittles.
Right.
But I said, I want to come do it, but it has to be a real go.
Valkyrie. I'm assuming.
No,
Vulcan, Valkyrie.
no. It's
Oh, the track.
I'm driving the Vegas track.
Oh, okay,
It's
so
a
DBX.
DBX
Yeah, okay,
707, which is
Awesome
an
car,
SUV
yeah.
ideal? No, but is the 707 fun and
Yeah.
very fast? Yes.
That
And
car
like,
rips.
when you get to drive a track that didn't exist last week,
Right.
won't exist next week, and may never exist again.
100%.
As long as the car is competent, I don't give a shit.
Right.
But 20 minutes at 1:05 a.m. after qualifying.
That's awesome.
That's when I'm driving. Qualifying over, Farah out.
Warm the tires up.
Right. And so it might be a little chilly.
Yeah.
1 a.m. in Vegas, which apparently I also wrote down that some people have not accounted for, that Vegas in November at night can be cold because the race is at night.
Yeah, it starts at 10. What day of the week are you doing that? Is it
It
Friday?
will be Friday night, which is Saturday morning at
so
1
there's
in the
going to
morning.
be, it's Vegas, so there'll be drunk people watching.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Possibly throwing things on the track. Like, we'll see.
The good thing you're an SUV then.
Yeah, right. And so I went down to CXC, which, did you see the Instagram post? Pull up my Instagram post from yesterday. They have their Motion Pro 2 sim, which is, you've used it.
Oh, with
It's
the triple
full
70s?
No. We're beyond the triples. We're beyond the goggles.
They told me this.
The sphere.
They told me this. Yeah.
Like Vegas has got a sphere? CXC's got the sphere.
Yeah.
Look at this fucking thing. This is a spherical LCD screen. So the Motion Pro 2, which is the rig I'm sitting in with the computer, is $65,000.
Yeah.
Full motion, full surround sound, belts tightening. That screen is $750,000.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's a prototype. They're not for sale yet, but that's how much they're going to be.
Because you can do, so I've been there.
Yeah.
I'm friends with these guys, CXC Sims, because they also have a hardcore Lemons team.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Lemons cars of all time. So we bonded over that. But they can do. You can
Is
do
the
flight
Lemons
sims
team
on that too.
themed like
the flight
this is
sims
a
are crazy.
simulation?
No, their Lemons, their car's awesome. So if you follow Lemons at all, their team Chotus, it's a Lotus Elite with a Chevy V8.
Right.
And they're either fast as hell because they're all really good drivers, or the car's broken.
Yeah. So the homie BK from CXC was up at Good Vibes this morning with his regular Lotus Elite,
Yeah, right,
which he also has a regular one.
Yep.
but they let me do an hour and a half because I'm like, dude, I got to go run this track.
Yeah.
No, the track doesn't exist.
Right.
No one's ever driven it. Yeah. No one fucking knows. But the modders in Assetto Corsa, the internet nerds, have made it using the map, using renderings, using what they know about how it's going to be built.
That's awesome.
So we don't know if it's like, it'll be interesting to see how accurate the sim is to the real track.
And are you going to push it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah. Like, fucking, why not?
In 20 minutes, you're doing, what, 10 laps?
So in this front straight, not that on the, what's on the screen is not the front straight.
Aggressive cut.
But on, well, so some
SUV.
I love how like some commenters are like, "Fucking way to cut the curbs," as if A, I was not in a simulator. Right. B, I was in the race. Right. C,
well, if you didn't have all four wheels over, then you're still not outside.
I was going to say someone's like track limits, Matt.
Yeah.
Track limits.
Well, some people were joking about track limits, but other people were like, "Nice line, shit."
Right.
You know, but like, what? Why track an SUV if you can't ignore the curbing? If you plan, you know what I mean? Like,
wasn't that you who did the Sterrato in the performance car of the year?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Same thing.
I had the biggest cut of all time.
It was awesome. I love that. Yeah.
In fact, I did, just today I wrote 300 words specifically for the purpose of accompanying that one photo. Yeah, they're like, "Can you put this photo into context?"
Perfect.
Because it's so ridiculous.
Oh no, it's great. I love that.
That photo, I did an Instagram post of that cut, but that was for a drone shot.
Oh.
So there's an overhead shot of the track going like this and me just going
And you guys run the other side of Thunderhill when you do
west, which is a lovely little track for testing cars.
It is. If it gets really confusing because again at Lemons they run the full and like you're used to the one side, the side that's been there forever. You guys are probably used to road tracks use that other side a lot. So the first time I did it, I went over the backside.
Yeah.
And it goes to the left. I went all four off on the parade lap.
Oh no!
And like the flaggers weren't paying attention yet, so I just rejoined the group. I was like, all right,
That's
remember
hilarious.
that one.
Nobody saw that.
Yeah. It's good times.
But so point being, I did 90 minutes on the track. It took a while to learn. I hit 100 and simulated, but nevertheless, I'm in a DBX 707. They had me set up in and I did 170 miles an hour on the front straight, which is incredibly gnarly.
Insane.
And that is breaking into a 50 mile an hour left-hand corner.
So I don't know what the top speed of an F1 car is.
It's like 210.
They'll probably max it out.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to be long enough. They'll max it out for sure.
So they can hit that at other tracks then. Probably.
What? Yeah, they were just raced at Sao Paulo, and I think they hit like 206 on the straightaway.
So they'll probably be like holding it as they come into the braking zone.
I mean,
they won't
probably
like touch it. They'll hold
this
it.
This straight is long enough that they will almost certainly be at VMAX. So I don't know what. I don't know what an F1 lap time will be there.
Right.
My best lap was a 2:13.05 in the sim.
Okay.
Remember that?
Right.
I don't know what it'll be in the real car. We'll see.
It's great to.
But the track was fun. The most important thing is that the track, despite being pretty flat, was actually fun. I thought.
That's what I'm most surprised about.
I thought it was fun.
Because the map looks boring.
There was a lot of nuance to it. There are some tricky sections. There was one section that took me quite some time to figure out. I'll pull up the map there. That's the Sands Avenue section, which is the front straight looks fucking accurate in the sim. Go down to the track map. So in the photo, it's to the left. In reality, it's to the north. The Sands Avenue complex that is right before the big front straight. That right left sweeper is trickier than it seems because of it's sort of off camber a little bit, and with the walls that are up, you can't actually see through either of those corners very well.
Kind of like Singapore's.
So you're going this way.
You're going counterclockwise on this track.
Okay.
Which I didn't actually expect.
I like how Jeff just gestured left.
So that's a hell of a braking man at the end of the straight.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude! Your brake, and that granted, if you blow the corner, there is a little bit of runoff. But you're
the cheapest seats are like
shit. Yeah, the head-on collision seats.
Well, it's like Monaco though. It's you come out of the tunnel and then it's basically a 90-degree left to right.
Yeah.
So
that if you run clean, like if you don't take curbing, that corner at the very end of the straight is more than 90 degrees.
Yeah, it looks like it's it's almost not a U-turn, but
It's tight.
between.
It's tight, and the complex. by Paddock's. You see in the pictures as Paddock's site, which is it's going to be to the east. It's on the top of most photos. It's the rear leg of the pig because the track looks like an upside down pig.
Oh yeah.
That complex is actually tight because it's 2 decreasing radius corners, which is tricky.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? I actually thought it was pretty fun, and I got the hang of it. Over my 90 minutes. I'm so glad I did it, dude.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Going onto this track cold and trying to do something that looked good on video, fucking forget it, dude. Forget it. It would be really, really hard. It took me about 10 laps to figure out a decent line.
Do you think you're gonna talk while you're warming up, shut up in the middle, try to get a fast one, talk on the cool down sort of thing?
I think I'm going to talk the whole time.
Okay.
I have a problem not talking.
Yeah, right.
So I think I'm going to talk.
Because you're just saying your thoughts out loud. You're just saying your thoughts out loud. Yeah. No,
but I'm going to talk myself through the process, and I'm not going to turn on a timer, but you'll be able to time it with the video.
That's
I'm going to
true.
run it in real time, so, whatever. We'll see what happens.
I'm curious how narrow it will be because some of the Vegas streets are huge versus some of the other street circuits in the series are really narrow.
This track is wide. The only place it gets narrow, to me, is the little M section at the top of this sphere site where you go around the sphere on the top left of the photo, where is that light blue, I guess. That little zigzag there is kind of tight, but not even that tight. Like, it's pretty
Christian will
wide.
be inside the sphere just cheering you on.
Man, he won't shut up about the sphere. I just went to his show. He just did one of his best contractions ever. It was Dr. Peter Drabriel.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
it was Peter Gabriel and Dr. Dre, and it was awesome.
pretty cool.
But he was on and on.
They should
about the
sell
sphere.
seats in the sphere that are just broadcasting a live image. That'd be pretty sick.
Are they doing that?
No, they should.
They should sell seats in the sphere that make it just look like you're looking through the wall.
Yeah. That would be dope.
If they're not doing that,
Right.
they're really missing out on
Simulated
an
window.
opportunity.
No, we have a concert that night. Sorry. The band Live reunited and they're playing.
I would like to go see that U2 show, though.
Is it like a residence thing?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Residence.
okay,
and they just
okay.
extended it to March. So I
Whoa.
think I might.
It's not bad. Tickets are $400, which is less than
You
I
know
was
what?
expecting for
That seems
to
like-
see one of the most famous bands in the world in a $1 billion or
It's a lot, but it sounds
is.
like
It's
it's
a
lot,
more
but-
than just a concert.
But
Yes.
yeah. By the standards of what
experience.
they're offering, I feel like that's pretty reasonable, actually. When you factor in like Vegas, crazy venue,
Right. Yeah.
enormous band, all,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always, not to get off topic here, but that's always, even though that's what podcasts are for, is
Yes.
the thing that always blew my mind was
Can I quote you on that for our website?
U2 was like just the biggest band. And then they gave everybody a free album and the world's like, fuck U2. It's like,
Yeah.
and I'm not like a big U2 fan. I like their old stuff. There's some great songs. I would absolutely love to see them live, but the turn on them, to me, still to this day, is like the wildest thing.
It's like if Domino's just showed up in everyone's yard with free pizza, and he'd be like, "What are you doing to my property?"
what's the
Like,
scam,
fuck,
bro?
I didn't
Dude,
ask.
pizza?
This
Fucking
is
bullshit.
This is invasive. Yeah.
It's so weird because like they have some of their hits are just all time
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah, they're
So
good
That's
bands.
weird.
Yeah, they have like hits. There's hits, and then there's Where the Streets Have No Name.
Right. They were like, right.
You know,
One.
like, yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But so like I don't know about spectating. Like I understand people who have seen the track and think, oh, it looks boring. Okay, having quote driven it seems like fun. And it kind of it bums me out that other people aren't going to be allowed to drive it because you know what I mean, like other than the fucking drivers, obviously. But like,
it's also fun to do. Some
like it would
exclusive
be,
shit.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
But like it when you're in a car on this track. Even in the fucking sim, when you're going down the straight and you hit about $150 and you look
Vegas.
and you're like on the strip, you're
That's
like, all right,
cool.
that's kind of
Yeah,
rad.
I think it's very
That
rad.
is
yeah.
cool.
What's really hard, the hardest part of the track for me, and this may be different in real life, in F1 they don't put like 100, braking boards.
yeah.
And so the sim didn't have that either. So like it took like 10 laps to be like, where do I brake for this fucking
yeah.
straight?
The guy giving the
fucking
Hey man, will you hold up these
going to
cards?
show? Going to show?
Well, yeah, no,
That's
there's
your marker.
There's
Hopefully it doesn't move.
I think it's the Cosmopolitan Hotel. which is after the Bellagio, towards the end of the straight, right under where it says Las Vegas Boulevard. It's under the 18th there.
If you're breaking an aria, you're too late.
Dude, yeah, right? So the Cosmo has a huge, like, jumbotron on the outside of it facing the Strip. That's where you break.
Nice.
You break at the jumbotron. There's like 3 bridges over the front straight, and if you haven't hit the brakes by the last bridge, you are having an unbelievable crash.
That's a better brake marker because it won't give you epilepsy. Like,
It's kind of sad that this wasn't a race like back in the day, like Long Beach was a race where if they would have raced it on like past Fremont
they
Street.
did.
They did have a
They
Vegas
did.
race back
Did they
in the
really?
day.
Oh, I didn't even know
but
that.
It was bad. It was like racing through parking lots,
It
sort
was,
of. And
it was like the
very
Miami
gravelly.
garbage, but
Okay.
without the fake marina.
All right.
And with worse
I think the
tarmac.
fake
It was kinda
marina's
thrown
funny.
together. Yeah, it
Fake
is.
marina.
I think it's really funny.
It's super fun. You never want to party on a yacht on a trailer with a Playmobil fucking ocean?
It's so weird. That's like bringing the hotel that they put in the ocean back to the land.
Right.
I would have just tagged qualified captain and everything, and just just have him repost. And
I mean, does anybody on the internet create as consistently excellent content as a
I love
qualified
it.
captain?
I love it.
I mean, did you see the fucking?
I got my
the
California
90
boater
foot-
card because of him. Like, I don't own a boat. I'm like, I want to get more serious about my nautical training.
You know what I really want? I really want like a qualified captain visa.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Like he was documenting that 92-foot.
It wasn't a bird show. It was a Viking.
Viking.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There was a
and it wasn't.
huge
Everybody
sport
initially was
fishing
blaming
boat.
the guy, but he actually had
No, it
a
was
big
a mechanical,
failure.
yeah. There was a huge yacht that got
Worth
beached.
so much money.
Like 10 million sport fisher. You know what a sport fishing boat looks like, right?
Yeah.
It's got long schnoz, tall tower.
Yeah.
When you picture a sport fishing boat,
30,
you
40
picture
feet.
it a certain size.
like
Yeah.
30, 40 feet.
Triple it.
Yeah.
And it's that, but like you've zoomed out, like, how you look at a city on Google Maps and then you look at LA on Google Maps and they're the same size. Like,
It'll be impossible to find. There's so many.
if you just go to his Instagram, I bet it's probably like near the top.
It's right at the first thing on the Instagram. Guys, got to take a quick break from the action for today's sponsor, BetterHelp. I love BetterHelp. They have been a great supporter of our show, and they help you folks with something that is important. Talk therapy is important. Whether you see a therapist in person, virtually, or over the phone, it can help you work out a bunch of stuff. Whether it's actual disorders like depression or anxiety or worse, or whether you're just having a hard time with the stressful world around you, talk therapy can really help. And what's really hard about it is finding a new therapist if you don't already have one, and BetterHelp is here to help. All you have to do is go to betterhelp.com/smokingtire, fill out their questionnaire. It's entirely online, right? And they'll match you with a licensed therapist. They've got thousands on staff. You can then meet with that therapist on video chat, phone chat, text message chat, at your convenience, at your schedule. It's great, right? You can have it work for you. And if that particular therapist isn't working out, which is totally okay, it happens, they'll get you switched at any time for no additional charge. I've been seeing my therapist for a very long time, but if I didn't have him, I wouldn't know where to start and to find a good therapist now. And so BetterHelp is exactly where I would go, no matter where I was in the country, because it works on your time. So find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Go to betterhelp.com/smokingtire today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/smokingtire today to get 10% off your first month with BetterHelp. Folks, we are also brought to you today by Game Time. Game Time eases the stress, eases the headache, and eases the strain on your wallet when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is fast and easy. It's the best way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. There's killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from the seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Whether it's comedy or theater, music, sports, Game Time can help. Because you can check that view from your seat so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. They've got all-in pricing that shows the total up front, so you know you're going to get a great deal before you check out, and you can buy tickets in just seconds with 2 taps. They've got tickets, deals right up until the start of the event, and even up to an hour after the event starts. It is the place to find last-minute seats. You can find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. And with zone deals, you can pick the section, and Game Time picks the seats for big-time savings. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. You can download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code SMOKINGTIRE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but create an account and redeem code SMOKINGTIRE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets at the lowest price guaranteed. It's like right at the top, bro.
Oh, it's
There's
so
a
good.
massive go to
That one.
So that boat, there it is on the bottom right. So
They got
that
it out,
boat,
is the-
This looks like an E-type, just super long hood.
yeah. And,
But look how small the people are.
so that boat had
might
a
be normal sized
mechanical
people, Jeff.
failure. Couldn't run the engines. Couldn't drop anchor.
Yeah.
And got beached. Go back to his main page real quick.
bad day.
Go look. See
Bad.
bottom right. This fucking thing was beached.
So it just lost all power.
Lost
So
all
my favorite
power.
comment is that one. The real success story is those cleats, like how holding that thing.
Yeah.
Because it was there for days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
They had
tied
to
up,
drain
tied
all the
down.
fuel, drain all the water. They pumped it out safely. They didn't just dump it in the ocean. And then dig the fucking thing out with like tractors.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They
and then
actually
tow
it was
out.
all handled like really professionally. Because the first post, everybody was like, "Oh, look at this idiot rich guy doesn't know what he's doing." But legit, the boat had a big power loss, and
Yeah. The internet piling on. Get out
It
of here.
was so bad that like Vikings official Instagram has been giving updates.
Yeah.
on it. like
Yeah.
it's very rare that like the CEO of Viking gets a call. It's like DEFCON 4, bro.
Yeah.
And
It's like
Viking,
a
Viking
PR
is like
nightmare.
the premier name
Yeah, they
in
make
that style of
they
boat.
make
Yeah.
sick boats.
Like
yeah.
Bertram is sick, but Viking is like whipping your schlong out sort of
Right.
thing. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not the coolest. My favorite. I actually have favorite boats, even though I'm not getting on a boat. Like if I could own a boat, it'd be a Hinkley. I'd have a Hinkley.
Oh yeah. Well,
Daydream.
Very interesting boats because
picnic.
they're gorgeous, but they're really expensive.
Super expensive.
Super
There's
expensive.
some used ones that are like still the cost of like a house in the Midwest,
Yeah.
but like not as a brand new one is bananas.
Yeah. But
like
they're
a
very
44
interesting
something
because
picnic or
they're
Talaria.
jet drive.
They are.
And so you can beach them, unlike that
Yeah.
Viking.
Yeah, they could have got out.
But like,
They should use that
if
as
you're
an
if you're in the Northeast, if you're in Long Island Sound, Newport, like you ain't fucking nothing unless you're rolling.
These
a
are
Hin-
like $200,000 to start on Boat Trader, and that's used.
Those are
Hey,
used.
that's
yeah.
a used one.
know.
A brand
they're-
new Hinkley is $1 million to $5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're super expensive.
This is
I already had my trainer today, so it's a whiskey podcast. We got 3 varieties. We got Furcullen. We've got the Porsche Colorado Springs, which is not bad.
What did you just pour?
I just poured what is almost the last of the
before it
Furcullen, but you
goes,
can try
can
it.
I-
Yeah. And then we've got someone brought me
Fakakta.
the Dimple Pinch from Edinburgh, which actually smells pretty
I
good.
brought that, man. He doesn't remember I brought the dimple pinch. We talked about it.
A lot of people bring bottles
There are a
here.
lot.
I appreciate every one of them equally.
Which is funny because I just saw, this is how the YouTube algorithm works. Just popped up best of Bobby Bottle service from the Nick Kroll show. I'm like,
Bobby
I gotta watch
Bottle
this. I started watching it. It was put together, I think, by Comedy Central. It was an hour-long YouTube video. I'm like, no. Let's skip through this. What are we doing?
Not even U2 has a best of. Forget
Not
Bobby
even-
Bottle
not even-
service for an hour.
Nick Kroll was like, that's a bit long, probably.
L'chaim. Zach, you can top off?
I'm good. I'm good right now.
This is a different animal.
It is a different animal. This is a 13-year single cask, 57%.
See this bottle.
It's all right. I
prefer GTS. It's more approachable. It's the everyday.
the Porsche Colorado Springs GTS whiskey. Shout out to them. That's a group. That's
These are
actually
the ones who handle like Pikes Peak and shit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like Johnny's friends with these guys.
And there's a dude who works with them who has, I think, possibly the highest mileage 718 Spider.
I don't think his name's Dan. He's usually
Yeah.
on here watching. He's
Yeah,
watching
he's a
right
patron.
now. Shout out. But yeah, he drives a green Spider like yours, and he's driven
He
like 50,000 miles.
commutes to L.A. from Colorado in his Porsche Spider.
Yeah.
He's got like 60,000 miles in this car.
I mean, that's badass, but
Yeah, it's
like
boss.
they made diesel Cayennes, you know.
No, they have airplanes. But like,
It's true, yeah.
it's a boss move.
It is, yeah.
But like, I see him at LA events more than I see people
Like
who live in
locals.
Pasadena.
Yeah.
You know, at LA
Pasadena,
events.
where you at?
Yeah.
Thank
Where
you, everybody. I'm looking at all the cameras.
California love. Shout out to him. So what's happening in Glucker world?
Oh, I just had a nice traffic slog drive up here, but I'm always
sorry
happy.
for that.
It's been a while.
Sorry for that.
I was thinking. I actually had a question. What episode number is this? Do you know?
876.
For 1,000, it
Yes.
would be hilarious to rent the house in Playa Vista and do an episode at the Playa Vista house.
You know, I think
no,
that
I
would
think
be
so.
funny.
Come on, that'd be
no,
amazing.
it would be funny.
Have Dan Neal back.
It would be funny.
That'd be fun.
Danny was just here, and
Oh,
I
nice.
tried to. He sent me a series of very funny texts, like, and I tried to meet up with him. It didn't work out because he's a fucking flake. But and fucking shout out to him. He knows that. I would do that. Rent that old house in Playa.
Be funny, man.
It was funny, except that our landlord was such a piece of shit that I never want to speak to him ever again.
Do you think he still owns that house? I doubt it.
I think so.
I know someone who lives on that
shocked.
hill, who's probably a fan of the podcast, a former racer. I don't think he's racing anymore, but we could rent his house. So
They
it's,
just
like,
did a big
nearby.
remodel on that house.
Oh,
I
it
haven't-
wouldn't be the same.
There was
man.
scaffolding all over it. I drove by it a couple weeks ago. But that is funny.
We could bring Pizza Dave on. We could bring
We get the soundboard with Nino back.
Yeah.
have Fat on. Yeah, dude.
Nino just had a big LA Fashion Week show.
Yeah. Hell
yeah.
He's killing it with his clothes. Like, I can't wear them because
No.
I'm not good looking. But if you're good looking, his clothes are fucking
told
dope.
him I need more dad theme stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, I got you.
And his
happened
lady,
yet.
his fiance, excuse me, because they just set a wedding date. His fiance works for Nick Fouquet. You know who that is? He's the fucking the LA is it a haberdasher who makes hats?
Yes.
Is he like the Instagram guy?
Like the crazy
yeah.
fucking hats.
He's like burning them and shit.
Yeah.
They've probably come up.
They're
on
like 3Gs, like the Pharrell Smokey, the bear hats, and all
Jesus
that crazy
Christ.
stuff. I think they started like
Does
a
he
grand.
look like a really cool guy?
Yes.
Yeah, I probably.
You
seen
go. This guy is either homeless or a billionaire. He looks like that.
A milliner is a hat maker.
A milliner.
Yeah.
Oh, what's a haberdasher?
Someone who deals in men's clothes.
Oh, okay. Well, technically, I suppose that's true, but a milliner. Yeah, but he makes dope hats, and she said that they could make me a hat for Pebble next year.
Okay, that
and
makes
I'm
sense.
kind of thinking about it.
Yeah. Are you gonna become like a hat guy?
I buy hats for individual things.
Okay.
Like I have a hat that I wear when I guide the road and track events. I have like a guide hat where I look like almost like an Outback guide, and then I've
Oh,
got
that's
my
cool. I like
Panama
that.
hat for Pebble Beach, and then I have like shitty hats.
Is
When
your
I
guide
was-
hat folded up on one side? Like
No,
an
it's-
Australian guide hat?
No, it's not like the guy in Jurassic Park
Or
who's like,
Jumanji.
"Hello, gorgeous."
Welcome to Jumanji.
Yeah, no, but it is like it's like an Indiana Jones hat.
Cool. No, that's cool. I like that. And the level of clientele that fits in. They're like, oh, no, I've got 7 of those at home.
I just feel
Quattro,
like
whatever it's
when I'm
called.
guiding, I need a guide, hat.
It puts you in the mood.
Yeah.
And it conveys authority.
It does.
It does.
Does,
They'll
it does.
listen. Yeah.
A good hat.
Like the Marines would
You gotta learn.
that's
Can you
super
whistle like
straight.
the loud whistle? You gotta learn that. That's the next
should.
level. Yeah.
I should. Yeah.
When
No,
I was looking to buy my current vehicle, I was looking at old Land Rovers, and if I was getting one, I was absolutely going to buy a
Yes.
fifth helmet.
Yeah,
to keep
yeah.
in the truck. And for drive-throughs, like the Shamrock Shake's back. Oh, that's really good. Like shit like that. Be a dickhead. But I didn't get him one.
That'd be
so,
funny.
I see you're Monteroing with the rooftop tent.
Still, yeah.
You were like, do you know what I could do to really improve the aerodynamics of this vehicle?
Well, you're not telling the full story because I sent him a text the other day. I was like, hey, geez, I hit him up about something. Like, hey, man, I know you store cars, but do you ever just store things? He's like, not really.
Like
but what are
public
you thinking? I'm like, because I'm hitting different people up to find a place to put my tent.
Has anyone come back to you with affirmative of storage of a rooftop
I
tent?
haven't pushed too hard on people. So what I'm just gonna do, because
It's an interesting thought.
Yeah,
Like,
you could put them on the underside of lifts or
Well,
something.
yeah. I mean, I suppose I could probably put 2 tents on a tray on a lift. Maybe
yeah.
even like, can you
Mine's
lift the
super
tent?
thin. Mine weighs. I put it on the roof. I installed it myself. It weighs 85 pounds.
Okay.
I literally got behind it and went, ha!
Could you stack a couple of them on themselves?
I think they're strong, especially.
Wait, can you just lean them vertically against a wall?
I don't see why you couldn't.
Okay,
I mean, we could have the
more
guy who
efficient.
owns Go Fast lives in California, so you could have him on the
So like,
podcast and ask
I
him.
wonder if I could allocate a couple of my lifts at South Bay.
People who just don't want to be posers and
Yeah.
drive around with their tents all year.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm signing
But like
up
I
for
could,
that.
but if I could stack them, I mean lay flat. If
Yeah.
I could put one on top of the other,
don't-
and I could put, let's call it 4 tents on one of those lift trays, right?
And maybe you could
I
just
would
put-
charge you a quarter of what it costs to store a car,
And maybe
I
you
don't give-
put
that's fine.
in between them just like little wood dowels. So
Right,
they're like,
yeah,
like
sure.
just like so you can get your fingers in to
or,
get one
or
off.
blankets or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck. Like
You could
let me
probably
ask
stack
you,
more than
would
that.
you pay?
Me, I'm
Well, look, I mean, we're talking about storage. Would you
I
pay?
think Jeff wants a deal
would you-
because he's
would you
calling
pay
car
a-
storage
Would you
to
pay
store
$100?
an
Would you
item.
pay $100 to $125 a month to store that tent?
so I wouldn't because I what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build a hoist in my garage and just jack
yeah.
it into my roof.
Sure. Okay.
However, the people who can afford because some of these I got my tent for free also.
Yeah.
So
But some of these overlandy people are heavy hitters.
they have money to spend. They're buying vehicles. They're spending and some of these tents are very expensive.
I'm contemplating
so-
doing our second building because we have 2 buildings at South Bay.
Yeah.
And the second one, we haven't started construction yet. And I've instructed my contractors to not do anything for lifts until the end.
Oh wow.
Because I want the flexibility depending on how the business goes. I'm contemplating doing that whole building sprinter van
I was just
storage.
gonna say sprinters, transits, Ram.
Because
yeah.
those guys will spend,
Oh yeah.
you know, if for a $400,000 rig or $300,000 rig, they'll spend $1,000, $1,200 a month. And compared to the normal places they have to keep
Oh,
those,
it'd be like Disneyland.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not on the street.
Yeah.
Their neighborhood doesn't hate them. They're not putting it in just a generic RV lot.
Which is outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway, we're figuring that
No,
out.
those guys who buy those rigs would be interested in that.
I think so too. It's a
Jeffy
new
G,
kind-
whose truck's outside, that nah, I'm good, but I appreciate it. But
we have
I think it's
we
a
have a
decent
guy
idea.
who we've worked with before, whose name I won't drop, Alex, who drives around in a 4Runner with a rooftop tent, who uses it maybe once a year.
Yeah.
But that tent is up there all year, and he just likes how it looks.
I think it looks okay on my truck. I never wanted one.
Yeah.
I never wanted a rooftop tent. And then I never wanted a roof rack either, but I put the roof rack on because then I added some lighting up there and some extra functionality. And then Go Fast reached out and like, do you want one? I was like, they're like, it weighs 85 pounds.
Yeah.
And it almost fits behind the fairing. So
Yeah.
the wind hit's not that bad. I was like, all right, you're going to give it to me. I use it twice a year to camp at the 24 Hours of Lemons races.
That's a good move.
I'm trying to use it more, but it's tough to get out.
Yeah.
I can't go to my
busy
wife
dude.
and kid and be like, hey, see you when I see you. You know, I can't just do that.
They could go camping too, but apparently you don't want to do that.
No, what I'm going to add, so I'm actually going to take it to another level, is I'm going to add a 270 awning. So, from the whole side, wraps around to the back, because you can put walls up.
Is that a porch?
No, so 270-degree awning, so it'll come off the side. I'm gonna have drop down, so it'll be like a lower level for me and the dog to sleep.
okay.
Wife and kid will sleep upstairs. I will have a 2-story camping solution.
Oh, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's cool.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
And
yeah.
you can change and cook and stuff if it's raining. Those
And
things
by the
are-
way,
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
want to be one to throw stones in a glass house. Thule hooked up the basket, the cargo basket on my Safari car. I had it on the roof for a year. I put things in the basket one time.
Right.
I loved how it looked. I thought it looked tough as
Sure.
shit. It whistled like fucking crazy on the highway.
Yeah.
But I don't want to throw too many stones in a glass house.
It
but-
did look cool on that build.
Yeah.
And on my truck, I'm fortunate because the truck itself, it just makes noise through the
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
old window
Yeah.
seals, and so I don't hear that at all. The KO2s don't sound loud to me at all. So the tent is immaterial. I just am like, you know what? I use this twice a year. I got to get it off. And then I know I'll be like invited to something. I'll be like, man, fuck, man, I got to put the fucking tent back on.
But
But if I do
the
it,
hoist is the move.
the only thing is I can't pull my truck in because I hate my garage. There's a huge beam that runs across, so I don't get the full opening of my garage door.
Yeah.
Before I put the roof rack in, I could just fit in. So even it has nothing to do with the tent. What I want to do is I want to
So
reach
you have
out.
to air down. You
No,
have to go
I tried that. I literally was in my driveway airing down. I pulled up and it was like bink. And
I don't know if it's true, but
Close.
did you see the amazing photos circulating the internet? I don't know if it's true, and I don't want to be fucking fake news, but there was a photo that was circulating the internet of a guy taken across the street of allegedly a dude who put a lift kit on his Jeep in his garage and then couldn't
Oh
get
my
the
God,
Jeep out
please
of
be
the
true.
garage.
That has to be true.
You're gonna have to like ratchet strap it down.
It's the
It's gotta
exact
be
kind of
true.
thing that would happen to me or anyone I know. You know what I mean? and it was very fun.
That person did not watch that Winnie the Pooh cartoon when they were.
I don't know if it's real or not, but it was
Unbelievable.
Or the story of the dude years ago who built the Lambo in his basement, but knew he would have to. He knew he would have to knock the wall
punched out the
and
wall.
he did it.
Yeah.
There is a jeepforum.com. There is a thread that says lift kit installing garage ? Can I get back out? Like,
Yeah.
should I do this? People are all just saying measuring tape. So a lot. I think this probably happens to more people.
But
than
what I
we
want to
admit.
see is if I could get like a roll-up style garage in a home. So I
Oh,
can
you
get
mean like
the
a
full-
commercial? Oh, commercial door.
Yeah, so I can
yeah.
get the full opening.
Sure.
And then I can get
yeah,
my truck
Yeah,
back.
you got to go commercial for that.
Because I lose inches because it doesn't open all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. We in my garage at home, at my house now, we had beams that went across right above where the garage doors went up.
Is it a single piece that opens?
No,
Okay,
I
it-
fucking hate those
yeah,
single pieces. That's
right.
so California, and they're garbage.
They are
I hate
garbage.
them.
Yep.
So fortunately, our doors are the multi-piece, blah, 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 the
Yeah.
normal garage doors.
Right.
But there were also beams, and the old guy had like shit stored up there. So we were like, we're going to get rid of all the beams. We had to install reinforcements in other places.
did that,
We
though.
got rid of the beams. We did get rid of the beams.
The
Because
beam.
we turned our garage into a gym.
No, I know. I've seen the gym.
Yeah.
But the beam is huge, and it's
Yeah.
like under my daughter's bedroom.
Yeah.
Like, so damn.
All right. We'll sort this out.
Interesting.
All right. Guys, we got to take just one more quick break from the show for Crowd Health. You know what sucks about health insurance? Everything. I have some of the best health insurance that I can purchase from my company because I have a small business. Not every option is open to me like if you worked for a big company. But my small company, I wanted the best insurance I could get for myself and for my employees. And you know what? It still sucks. It's confusing, it's expensive, it's frustrating. Claims get rejected all the time, sometimes for stupid reasons. Sometimes a claim that went through last month gets rejected this month, and then I got to go deal with it on the phone, or my wife has to deal with it, spend 2 hours on the phone with customer service. Oh, the code is wrong. Oh, this is wrong. Did you know that 48 million claims on Obamacare last year were denied? Health insurance is annoying, but there is a better way. Welcome to the alternative. It's Crowd Health. Crowd Health was created to get rid of the headaches of health insurance. It's crowd-funded health care. For $175 for an individual or $575 for a family of 4 or more, you'll get access to a community of people who are willing to help out in the event of an emergency. You'll also get telemedicine visits, discounted prescriptions, and more. All this without doctor networks getting in the way. Let Crowd Health help with your healthcare needs. You can get started today for just $99 a month for the first 3 months if you use code TIRE to get the healthcare you deserve. Crowd Health is not insurance. Learn more at joincrowdhealth.com. That's joincrowdhealth.com and use code TIRE. We're also brought to you today by Prize Picks. It's the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. We're the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. It's easy. I don't know anything about sports. I'm bad at sports. That's why I need easy. Even I can pick more than or less than, right? Prize Picks shows you the stat projections and you go, I think they're going to do better than that. I think they're going to do worse than that. It's really not hard. Prize Picks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this football season, and now I can play during basketball season too. Just select 2 or more players, pick more than or less than, on their projected stats and place your entry. It's easy. PrizePicks even offers a reboot policy so your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. For football and basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half, does not return in the second, that player is rebooted. PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. It's easy to sign up. It's easy to pick your numbers. It is easy to get money back. It's quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types. That makes PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. So go to prizepicks.com/tire and use code TIRE for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/tire and use code TIRE for a first deposit match up to $100. So,
What else is going on?
what have you been driving? Anything great? Anything awful?
I've actually been off press cars for a few months, and it's been kind of nice. But then, I'm like emailing everybody at once. I'm like, hey, is the Lexus TX available? Is the is this in the fleet? Colorado or the Silverado ZR2? And people are getting back to me. I'm like, I need press cars.
About twice a year, I get into a panic of having no press cars, and Zach and I email like 16 people in a day, and then the next 3 months are full. It's
basically
money.
what I just have.
Wait, the last time you were on this show, had you gotten the head-to-head job or no? I don't
No,
think
you
so.
hadn't. That's after. That's new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, yes.
As I
correct.
referred to it to Johnny, head to Glucker. It's
I don't know. If he likes it
now
called
you're
that.
making a show with Johnny.
Yeah. So it's
I mean, is there anyone more fun to fight with? Let's be honest.
Johnny is great. So Johnny has a reputation on the internet. People know him as combative, argumentative, and he is that.
Totally unearned.
No, I'm not saying it's not unearned, but in person, the arguments are like, and I know you have had your moments each other on the podcast.
Yeah.
But in a friendly, debating way, and that's what the show is, because Johnny and I are friends. After like the second or third episode, he pulled me aside. He's like, I've been doing this show for a while. I've gotten along with the co-host, but it's taken some time. He's like, you and I, 3 episodes in, we got this. So I was like, oh, that was a great thing to hear.
Cool.
And I told him, that's the old head-to-head.
Oh. Hey, man. I Googled head-to-head. That's what I get.
It's got to be head-to-head drag race, because
Google.
they didn't use
You have to
the
Google
original
head
name.
to Glucker. Head to Glucker.
So this is a point of contention on the show not for Johnny and I. It's Johnny and I versus Motor Trend and the producers. They changed the name. Head-to-head drag race, because drag race is, whatever.
Click-through rate.
Yeah, I guess. Well, even though they had the name, just call it head-to-head. We've like slowly been like.
It's funny. It would be one thing if you couldn't use the IP, but like they have the IP.
Right. Yeah, it's a long conversation.
The suits were suiting,
Yes.
and you were like, can I get it paid
And
to
And now
drive
you're pissing off
cars? Like, I
RuPaul.
don't give
You
a
don't
fuck.
want to do that.
The what?
Now you're pissing off RuPaul.
We actually, for the very first episode, we were going to do a joke where they reveal me as the co-host in drag. I'd be like, wait, what show is it? And then it changed. We're like, that's fucking funny. And I would have, I'm down to play the joke.
That's funny.
But we the very first thing was he pulled the thing off a sheet off a car, then he pulled the sheet off me, which was still funny, but it would have been funnier to be in drag. So people would have been like, what the fuck is this? And
God, the hate mail from
I think that would have been
well,
funny.
I'm going back to Hot Rod Garage. I
This
can't stand.
woke
Wait,
internet.
there's 2 Jews now? Oh.
I was there about and you'd be in there going like, I was there at bar mitzvah. I was there at bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
We have a 1 Jew limit.
We do 1 Ashkenazi and 1. I don't even know what the other kind's called.
Sephardic.
Thank you. Right. Like those are the Sephardic are the like the warrior ones, right?
I don't know.
One
is the old Jew and one is new Jew.
one
turns all the S's into T's and I don't know.
I'm a PC and I'm a Mac.
So yeah, the show is a lot of fun. We actually got we shot a holiday episode, which will be out soon. Which is I have no idea. People are like, "How's the show doing?" I'm like, I don't know. They don't tell me anything.
God, that's nice.
Every now and then, and I don't ask.
Are there comments?
No.
Oh, it's fucking great. That's delightful.
Well, it's all paywall, right?
So
So
it's
it's
my
all-
favorite thing about writing for Road and Track Print.
Oh,
no
yeah.
comments.
No
It's
comments.
fucking
I know.
best.
I know.
Oh.
So it's all on
like I'm
demand at the
free.
moment, but I think once we're shooting like 1 a month, so it's like a really slow rollout. And then I think once we have a season, then it goes to TV. 'Cause
Is it
will be on
ironic to have a
TV.
show called Drag Race with a slow rollout? I think it is.
Yeah.
Do you
we
deliver
have a
the slow
60. We
rollout?
have a
Yeah.
60 whatever or a 5 mile per hour. Yeah. So we shot a holiday episode, which was great because I think that means we're doing well because they invite other hosts to come on our show, including like big names like Lucky Costa and Alex Taylor, and and we had Newbert and Cotton, who are the funniest fucking people. They're
Johnny
so
just said
funny.
really nice things about them
Oh,
a
dude,
couple
Newbert
weeks ago.
and Cotton are hilarious. Lucky was fantastic. Dude, it's true to his name. We shot at Radford, so there's a casino across the street. He popped over there and won like 10 grand.
Really?
Yeah. And the night before he won like 4 grand.
No way.
And then I guess he was just at SEMA and he showed a video of him winning like more money. I guess this is what he does.
No way.
Yeah.
That rules.
But Newbert and Cotton were awesome. And then Nads and Amir, who are like newer to the block. And I know Nads. Nads is great. Amir
He's the fucking OSG.
Yeah. Oh,
He's been around since I was fucking washing cars with Larry fucking back in the day.
A lot of people don't know that. He's been around forever.
He's been around forever. He was Street Fire, dude.
Yeah.
He was like the fucking
StreetFire.net.
old
Wow.
school.
So while we were out there, I took him to, because there was a band I really wanted to see that's touring, and they happened to be playing Phoenix while we were out there, and it's a death metal band.
What band?
Death Clock. And they were Baby Metal was opening for them, and he's like, I don't know any of this. Let's go. I'm in.
Is
And
Baby Metal what it sounds like? Because if it is, I'm in. Is it Baby's playing metal?
No, it's
Damn.
3 Japanese chicks.
Yeah.
Backed
Oh.
by a death metal band. And
that's gotta be
they were
weird.
amazing. Their visual show behind them was unreal. And it's the wildest shit. They have a song about like loving chocolate. That was fucking gnarly.
There was like Rammstein used to have songs that in English were like recipes for, brownies, but in German they sounded like fucking
evil?
Yeah, like eating corpses, but they were actually just
But yeah,
like
it's 3 like fresh-faced, cute Japanese women, ladies.
That's
and then
kind of hilarious.
A faceless death metal band behind them. But then Death Clock is originally started
like
as a
that concept.
cartoon, and then they were so good that they have the best-selling death metal album of all time, or something
Really?
like that. Yeah, but Nads and I were there. Everybody's like in black and this, and I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt. We're like 2 dads at the death metal show, but we had a blast.
I remember when Hendrix plugged in the electric guitar, and that was the beginning,
We just
man.
sat there and we had a great time, and it was awesome. I got lucky, and the tickets weren't expensive. We Ubered from our hotel because like Radford is kind of far from. It's not that far from Phoenix because it's all just one big freeway.
Phoenix is the other one that's like LA in terms of the fact that
huge.
Yeah. And when you look at it on the fucking your phone map, you
Yeah.
go, oh, it's just right there. And then it's
I did that. Yeah.
Fucking
Well, it's just across the phone, and then you see 9 miles or 12
On the
miles,
way home
whatever.
though, because we were drunk
Everything
after
is so far in Phoenix.
We were drunk after the show because Nads is an enabler, but I'm like, I leaned into it, which is fine.
I feel like I'm from Boston.
So yeah, let's fucking go. Wait, he was like, do you want one more? I was like, dude, I don't know. And we came around the corner and they stopped selling. And he's like, you should have said yes, and then blamed it on them. I was like, huh. We got in the car on the way home, and Naz was like, do you know a great local Mexican joint? The guy's like, okay. Guy took us. First one was closed. We went to another one, and I ordered so much food. And I got back to the room I'm like here shooting a television show. Like I can't just fucking do it.
What am I going to do with
But
3 burritos and 12 tacos?
The guy was giving us a sad story, and I never have cash on me. And I had cash for some reason, and I gave him like $100.
Oh, no.
Because he was like, talking about his kid, and I was like, and it may have been
guy in the
legit, but I
cab or
like
the guy
totally. And if it wasn't,
or the restaurant?
good on him.
He fucking scammed the
Yeah,
shit out of
probably.
you.
But he was like, he sounded sincere.
Yeah.
He hooked us up with the like delicious Mexican food, and I was like, dude, go, take tomorrow night off, spend it with your kid. And, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, wow, where'd all my money go?
I laugh, but I've done shit like that.
Yeah,
100%.
stupid. Whatever.
You know what my favorite line in My Blue Heaven with Steve Martin?
Steve
It's
Martin,
not tipping, it's over tipping.
Yeah.
It's over tipping.
I over tipped him very much.
I love crushing people with a fucking tip.
Yeah.
With a tip they can't believe.
It feels good to do.
Once in a while you got to do it.
Yeah.
When someone when they go a little bit out of their way when they didn't have to, and you just fucking slam them with a monster, I love it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things.
Glad my wife doesn't watch this podcast. She'd be like, "You did what?" Because we were at her
Baby,
celebrating
the
like
burrito
her
was so
parents'
good.
50th anniversary. We all got together on the East Coast, and then I never have cash. But they were all paying with cash. I'm like, all right, give me your cash. I'll, at dinner. So like, I'll put the card up. Give me the cash. So that's the only reason I had cash. And I was like, it's like it can't leave me fast enough.
Yeah,
right?
you're like, this money doesn't count. This isn't real.
It was boy math.
IRS, the IRS. If I put it in the bank, the IRS is taking half, so they're fucking not getting shit.
I love those memes, the boy math,
thing,
where it's like,
they're really
my
funny.
wife got a $5 Kohl's coupon, which means she can basically go spend $200 at Kohl's. But we do the same shit all the time.
Oh man, about once or twice a month, because here at the shop, as you might imagine, we rack up a pretty impressive fucking credit card bill.
Oh, sure.
So once a month, Hannah's fucking log me in, and she's just fucking murking gift cards.
Oh,
dude.
the points.
Fucking points city. So about every
her thing, gifts,
every other
too.
month, I get these fat envelopes because the gift cards only come up to like 200.
Yeah.
You can't get you can't get like a G note on a gift card. Like 200 is the limit. So I get these fucking stacks of gift cards every couple months, and it's like Kroger and Target and
Just
whatever.
From the points from the
points from the
company.
WCCS credit card. Yeah. And so we're crushing fucking gift cards, and then I forget to use them on anything.
Nice cue.
Yeah, we can
get.
get more. I have to ask Zach to do it because it's part of his role as the thing.
I feel like a dick.
So while Zach is re-icing, and Zach, we're done with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Zachary.
He's an extremely valuable member of the team, but he's extremely well compensated.
Number 2.
And that is also part of his job.
Yeah. You have to earn your wedding.
There's 3 fucking people here, and if one of us is going to do that job, it has to be him.
The guest can't.
The guest can't, and I do sometimes.
I was also thinking about this too, going back to like the history of this podcast. When I was thinking about episode 1,000, you got to do something crazy.
We
Like,
do.
when
You're
was I
right.
on?
We do.
You have to do something crazy, like rent a brewery or something.
Yeah.
And I know which one you should rent, but it's because it's my friends, and it's closer to me. So I think I was on episode 5. Mm-hmm. That's how long this goes back.
Was it a disaster?
But it was awesome because you'd call me. And you lived in Playa, I lived in Huntington. I had no children, and it'd be like, you'd be like,
what did you find?
I was worried you were running out. So
I don't think we are. We haven't even
in
touched.
Mexico,
We
too.
barely touched the dimple
I love
pinch.
Hecho in
But
Mexico.
Zach has brought a full bottle of tequila, which I don't think we need that. But okay,
I wouldn't
thank
try-
you.
I'll try a sip of it.
I
I'll
see
try a-
why he
I'll
brought
try
it
a
now.
sip of that.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll try.
Yeah, no. The people when I
But
see
you used to
people-
call me. You used to call me, be like, dude, can you do the podcast? And I'd be like, fuck yeah. I'd be like, Jen, I'm going to do the podcast. She's like, all right, have fun. And
Yeah.
I would just zip up, and we would start at like 7.
Yeah.
So I could leave after traffic. It was the best.
I mean
So good.
and
I didn't fuck with weed then. Thank God. Because
Yeah,
I'd be like,
well,
I'm
I would've-
sleeping here.
Oh wait, those aren't coasters. Those are stickers.
Stuck to it.
The early episodes, I can't. Yeah, take as many as you want. The early episodes, I can't go back and listen
sorry.
to them, but
Startled.
I'm glad people regularly tell me how
Are they
fun
gone?
they are. No.
Oh, you
I
can't.
can't
Got it,
listen
got
to
it,
them
got it.
because I'm ashamed. But. But people regularly come up to me and go, dude, for shits and giggles, I went back to like episode 10 and it was a fucking insanity.
I do that to the dollop.
Oh,
for
yeah.
the OGs.
Oh, yeah.
And then some people
Try some of
still
this.
talk about the because it was so
first-
funny. It was so funny when Spike
If you're
was
gonna
like,
start with the
"What if I
dollop-
said a podcast?" I'm like, dude.
If you're going to start with a
We had one
dollar,
before
start
you
at
did.
start at 1. Start
or
at like
3.
3.
10-cent beer night for baseball is a great.
That's like
Oh my
episode
God.
7 or something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
early.
The first
Wow.
like 15 are just mind-blowingly good. But there's a Hooniverse one. I have no idea what number it was, but I was in Scotland for the greatest press trip of my life. It was an Aston one. Normally an Aston trip is a day or 2. This
Yeah.
was like a week, visiting Newport Pagnell, Gaydon. Then we went to Scotland, stayed in a castle on the shore of
What was
Loch
the
Ness.
car?
It was because they switched to ZF 8-speeds. So,
It was a gearbox
but
launch.
but yeah.
Crushing it.
So
don't know how
one
they
day
run
we
out of
drove the
money all the
Pedes, the
time.
next day we drove Vanquishes, but it
Wow.
did actually transform the car.
No, it was significant.
To like now they got 200-mile top speeds. now they got 3 seconds 0 to 60s.
It made all those automatic cars much better. I'm not trying to discount them at all, but like, wow, a 7-day trip for
there
a
was like
gearbox
maybe-
for essentially a facelift.
It wasn't even facelift. Like it was all under the skin. The cars. I was the only one shooting video, and it was their last wave. So the PR people were like getting after it on that last night,
Yeah.
which they were that team, which Clark's no longer there, but that was just such a blast. Matt or Waters is still there, Kevin. So everybody was getting drunk on the shore of Loch Ness, and they would have the guy who would drive a golf cart back to the castle to refill all the booze, and it was the wildest shit. And I like recorded a podcast that night after getting hammered, where I must have had like binaural audio going on my thing because I like kicked a wine glass off my nightstand and it broke. And the first time I listened to it, it scared me because it sounded like it was behind me. But it's people's favorite podcast.
Never found those settings again.
Fucking destroyed. No, I know.
I thought there was a
This
ghost.
was like ASMR before that blew up on YouTube.
You heard Loch Ness. You're like,
That's
oh my God.
yeah, you hear in the
amazing.
background, you hear like.
The monster's here.
Yeah.
Dude,
it was the best trip.
I mean, the Aston, God bless them, they do it right.
Yeah,
that
well-
DB12 launch in Monaco was
That sounds
it was
good.
amazing.
That
It
sounds
was
good.
amazing. They rented out this hotel for 30 nights. The whole
my
hotel.
God, that's
It was insane.
crazy.
They told me how much it was. I'm not going to repeat
Lance
it.
Stroll's not a
It
billionaire
was
anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
staggering.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable. And by the way,
Lawrence, we
the
need
car
more
is
money.
great. I mean, I actually think the DB12 is fantastic. It's
Yeah?
a really great car. And DBX 707 is fantastic.
DBX 707 is awesome.
It's great. It's great. It's
just a
so
fatter,
much different than regular
it drives
DBX.
so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Can't
so
wait
good.
to lap it.
It's gonna be good
on the track.
It's going to be good. So yeah, the show is good. The show's fun. We got we've been off for a bit because we shot the holiday episode, and then it feels like, but we're getting back into it, shooting soon. I'm not going to say it on the air. I'll tell you guys after. But we have the opportunity to shoot something in December that is mind-blowingly expensive, and we're very fortunate. And I hate to tee it up like that, but
That's
sometimes
not
you got
cool.
to do it. I
Aston's
know
got a new
It's not cool,
transmission,
bro.
probably.
because if I say it and it doesn't happen, then I'll feel like an idiot.
That's true.
But
That's
it's
true. You should never talk about things on podcasts that haven't happened yet.
Right, exactly. And I always get so excited about stuff, and I tell people, and then it like falls apart, and I'm like, oh, hopefully nobody remembers. I said
Although
that. That's hard.
I went to Good Vibes today, which is back at Newcomb's Ranch.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And it was busy. Everybody was there. And the Kaiser, who was on the show yesterday, Keisel, who was fucking great. I mean, just a clutch player all around was there. And Vin and some of the Hoonigan guys are up there.
nice.
We got to get Vin back. He's
Content
fucking
Creator of the
great.
Year.
Yeah. What is that?
crazy.
That's awesome.
That's
Good
crazy.
for him. I don't even know what that award
I know,
is, but
it's
it's
amazing.
awesome. But I was like, listen, dude. Straight up, because I was like, why is there no like LTO kit for the Fox body? Like, why are we not giving love to the Fox? And he's like, fucking make it so. And I'm like, I saw him this morning, and I was like, dude, all last night, thinking about this kit for the Fox body. I was thinking about what it could be like. It could be like, 80s Trans Am kind of stuff, like not overly ornate, but just gnarly, aggressive, And he was like, let's fucking go. Let's do it. And I was like, yeah, but like, how much would this cost? And he's like, cash? And I'm like, yeah, cash. And he's like, it would be like 50, wouldn't it? And he's like, yeah. To do to do the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
be
well, the
like-
development, right.
Yeah, because you're paying for the development of the
Yeah,
one.
right.
And I was like, I can't. That's just crazy. I could.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but like, couldn't you like pitch some people? Like, couldn't you get a sponsor to pay to do a SEMA build or whatever? Like somebody. And I was like, I don't know, maybe, but.
Yeah, 'cause
and
if
he
you
was
get,
like, because I want to do that. Like, he's like, we should just do it.
He knows the Pennzoil people.
Yellow.
Valvoline
Ye-
spends a lot of
yellow,
money.
Cool.
A yellow
Valvoline or
fucking
Valvoline.
Pennzoil notch would be hot. That would
Yellow
be
would
hot.
work on
Yeah.
a Fox, yeah. Because
Anyway.
so I'm shopping because I sold my Jag, which felt great because I made way more than I thought on it.
Nice.
Shout out Cars and Bids.
Yeah? Nice.
Yeah, I was hoping to get $6,000. I got 14,000.
Get out of here. All right.
I was literally in the last hour, like in my garage, because this is where my office is, screaming. My wife's texting me because she's above me. She's like, who the fuck are you talking? I'm like, I'm talking to the computer. I'm yelling at the computer. I'm like, oh my God. I went and hit 10. I lost my mind.
That's
and then went
awesome.
for 4 more.
Good for
And it was
you.
local,
Nicely
too.
done.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Babe, we can afford storage for the tent.
No, I had 2 different mountain bikes in the checkout, ready to like pick one.
All right, this all
I was
makes
gonna
sense.
pick one.
Now
I was gonna pick one, and I was also because I started playing guitar. I'm like, oh,
You
I've
spent
gone
the money already.
No, I didn't. I also
because to go back, I know this is really old, but like you live 2.5 hours away,
That's
and
not
you
that
were asking, can you store a tent here, which is so inconvenient in every part of your life, and
Yeah.
now I understand why. Because
Yeah.
public storage is a business that exists everywhere, even
That's
in like
true.
on Mars.
That's true. I should get a storage container.
But now I know you spent the money before.
No,
you
I
sold
didn't.
the
I
car.
didn't spend it. I didn't spend it because I was also saying like, because I started playing guitar. I'm like, I've gone from Epiphone to Gibson, which is like financially a huge, like at a zero.
Yeah.
But my wife was like, I didn't know it was going to sell for that much. I also didn't know how much the mountain bikes you were looking at cost.
Yeah.
Let's just put it in our savings and pause. I'm not saying no. Let's just pause. I'm like, that's the responsible thing to do. So like, I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
But when you have money spent in your head, there's that
Yeah.
endorphin rush that comes with spending
Sure.
money. And I had it mentally spent. I was
Buy
getting
it now.
dope bikes.
You literally
Yeah.
get more dopamine from anticipating something.
What
than from
Gibson were you
getting
looking
it.
at?
You do.
Oh, dude, anything. I ended
Les
up buying
Paul.
a suite. I told her, I'm like, I'm buying these 2 Fenders, like, because I hadn't bought a guitar yet. So, because I was borrowing a friend's, it was in a touring band, but he played bass. He's like, I have this Jackson. You can borrow it till you get your own. So I played that for a while. It was awesome. Then I bought 2 Fender acoustics, but then I bought this Epiphone, my first electric. That's it's all Koa wood. I love Koa.
Koa's
It's
nice.
beautiful.
Yeah. Hawaiian wood. Very
Yeah,
nice.
yes.
Yeah.
So and then like it's like an Epiphone Pro model, so it has like some Gibson
It's
parts
Gibson
on it.
adjacent.
Yeah, it's
That's like the
gorgeous.
it's like the BMW 340M Sport.
Yeah,
it's got
it's
some
the
of
M235i.
It's got some of the
yeah,
bits.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what it is. It's a GTS to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
GT3 Touring, but I love it.
But that's okay. You're working your way up for
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
as
And
you-
the guitar sound, like modern Epiphones sound.
It could be worse.
fantastic.
When I was in college and I was moving units, heavy, right? Selling fucking LBs left and right, major weight. I was an average guitar player, but my fucking rack looked like I was in fucking Pearl Jam. I mean, Strat, Les Paul, PRS, and I had it was ridiculous. It was so stupid. It was like it was you know.
Someone was like, "Oh, play this." You're like, "I can't."
Well, fortunately I was playing in a band where I played rhythm.
Okay.
My other guitar player, I was the guy in Sultans of Swing. Now Strictly Rhythm, he doesn't know how to make it cry or sing. I was that guy.
Okay.
And
weren't-
the guy who I was in the band with was like a virtuoso, so he would play.
Would he
out of
look at
my-
you if you like he heard something?
No,
wrong?
he would play my guitars. Like he would use the guitars for what they were meant for, which made me happy just to fucking be there. But like, it's important to not do that. Is what I'm saying. You should not do that.
I'm not diving into like the deeper world until I can actually play it better. I
It's
did get
like
my first
being
pedal.
the fucking dentist whose first sports car is a McLaren 720, and you've never been to a track day, and you have absolutely no idea what to do.
Yeah.
If you turn the traction control off in the car, you know it's you know you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
fuck it. You want to get a BRZ, and then you want to get a Camaro,
Yeah.
and then you want to get a Corvette, and then you want to work your way up.
Right.
You know,
my first mountain bike was a used Trek.
Yeah.
And then I bought a new Trek. And now
the
I'm
McLaren
borrowing,
should be your 7th sports car, not your first.
The first time I ever drove on a racetrack was at a Motor Press Guild event years ago, and I drove a Cobalt SS, which was fucking
Dude,
awesome.
the
Wow,
Cobalt
good car.
SS ripped on the track.
The second car I drove at the same event was an SL63, and it was a fucking nightmare. I think I spun it, and I went back in to do more laps in the Cobalt because I learned, and then I like worked my way up. But you'd be like, yeah. The dentist who buys the McLaren or buys the fucking the $12,000 mountain bike and blah 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 all that shit. Yeah.
I mean, look, it's okay to have nice things. There's nothing wrong with having nice things.
The
but
pedal I bought though,
but there's
the guitar pedal I bought.
What pedal did you buy?
It's called the 1991, and it's literally, it's like Pearl Jam's 10 in a box. It's you don't need
Who
multiple.
makes it?
It's this company in the UK. It's routinely
that's
sold
cool.
out. I found a low serial number of it in Spain on Reverb.
low serial number on a pedal.
Yeah, it's like the first 100.
Nobody was like, dude, nobody gives a shit about the serial number.
but I do.
We will turn
You wanna
anything into a
fucking-
hobby.
My
oh my
second
God.
pedal I've already pre-ordered from the same company.
You know,
It's Queens of Stone Age in a box.
You think
It's
fucking
awesome.
Porsche PTS people are annoying. If you show up at a bar and you're like, my pedal is serial number 3, people are like, I never want to talk to you again.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Dude, I text Danky from Audi all the time, guitar shit.
Yeah, Donkey's a nerd. He is a guitar nerd.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I want that McCready Strat. You know, I want.
Oh, they look beautiful. Those McCready reissues. They do look beautiful.
It's already sold out.
Is it?
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
He's the only guitar player too who's had a signature Gibson and a signature Fender.
I didn't realize you had a signature Gibson.
Yeah, it was like an $8,000 '59 Les Paul
Reissue.
copy.
Yeah. I'm going to Miami for my birthday in a couple weeks because I've never been to Miami at the right time of year. I've only ever been in July and August when it's fucking heinous down there because that's the cheapest time to go film cars because everything is cheap. So that's when they send me down there. But my friends who live in Miami are like, dude, when are you going to fucking come the right time of year and actually enjoy it? So me and Hannah are like, we're gonna go to Miami. We're gonna go hang out for a little bit. Then we're gonna go to the Keys. It's gonna be nice.
Oh, nice.
But I'm gonna go to that Walt Grace Vintage place. You know that place?
No.
You'd like
Taylor?
it. It's cars and guitars.
We went there during the drive film.
We did.
Right? Yeah, that was a
Yes,
cool
we
spot.
did there. They've got classic cars and they've got guitars.
Oh, my God.
And it's like, yeah, fucking honey, hold my credit card.
$30,000-$40,000 guitars.
Well, they have like regular stuff
Yeah,
too.
'cause there's, like-
I mean,
yeah.
they have they have batshit stuff and they have regular stuff, but it's the kind of place where you walk into and you go, "Fucking, I'm not getting out of here for free."
Unexpected, insane guitar moment.
Yeah.
I was recently a best man at my friend's wedding, and they held the after party at his new in-laws' house. They live in this really nice part of Orange County, back in the hills, like unsuspecting, but it's like an area where everybody has big houses and land. Like,
Right.
It's weird. And the father, the new father-in-law, and then the son-in-law, they both are he plays guitar. The son-in-law works in the music industry with like big acts. He's like, oh, come check out you like guitar? Come check out this room. The dad has his father's original like 48 Martin
that's awesome.
on a wall, and he just goes, oh, play it. I'm like, this is like a $40,000
Yeah.
guitar. I'm like, blink, blink, blink. There you go. Just get it out of my
yeah,
hands. Like, I want to fucking touch
Yeah.
this. It's fucking incredible.
I have two. I used to have about 15 guitars.
Jeez.
Back when I was in college, the wall of my college apartment looked like a fucking guitar center. I mean, I had the racks on the walls. It was 3 high.
Jesus.
It was insane. I was a drug dealer. It was fucking crazy. That's what I spent my money on. And I sold all of them when I graduated college, except for 2 acoustics because I noodle on my couch once in a while.
Nice.
And I love them, and I'll never sell my 2 acoustics. They're awesome. My Taylor 314 is maybe the perfect
that's a-
guitar.
yeah, beautiful guitar.
Maybe the perfect guitar. It's amazing. It stays in tune for years.
Yeah.
But I miss my PRS. I had a PRS McCarty,
Okay.
Swamp Ash, red,
Be careful with how you pronounce
straight
that.
cut, and I don't have an amp anymore. There's no reason to have an electric guitar. For some reason, I just fucking want it.
Just get it.
I've looked. It
that one.
almost doesn't exist. Like
Really?
It turns out this exact guitar I had, I don't know if it was made through custom shop. I bought it used. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it was modified by its original owner. But I've tried to find it. I can't find it. And
sucks.
by the way, incoming Instagram DMs of everyone who sees a McCarty Swamp.
got
Ash.
one for you.
Just don't. It's if
You might
see
get
it,
lucky. Someone might be like, I have one for sale. I never play it.
straight cut, red, not flame cut, soap bar pickups, 22-inch neck.
20,
Not
okay.
not a it's not the tan neck. The neck was red also. It matched the body.
Oh.
I've never seen another one like it.
On the fretboard side, it was red?
No,
or just
no.
back
The
of neck?
fretboard
Okay.
was black. It had fucking the birds on it.
Yeah,
the doves.
right.
And but the back of the neck wasn't the light colored wood.
mayored
it
the
matched
shit out of it.
It matched the No, I was fucking an average ass guitar player. But
That's my goal, to be an average ass guitar player.
dude, now you can learn on YouTube.
That's what I'm doing.
It's totally different. When I learned, I had to learn to read tabs, and I'm not being, it's the thing like, oh, it's so much harder. Like it's just when you are learning to play guitar and you can watch someone's fingers,
best.
it's totally different.
There's so many people I follow now. And so for Christmas, my wife and daughter got me Fender's Let's Play, which is lessons online. And I went through the program. It's great. And then you immediately start going like, all right, I'm going to follow this guy, Justin Guitar, Andy, this other guitar guy. Let's Play All is this dude in England who's sick, who I bought
Yeah.
the pedal because I was like, dude, it sounds like Pearl Jam. I got to get that. And so, yeah, YouTube is the greatest resource.
It's unbelievable.
And I love it. And
My little 9-year-old
I just
cousin
love
Ryder
playing with it.
came to that. We went to that festival, what's the name of it? The Metal Festival in Palm Springs like a month ago.
Oh, you went?
Yeah, I
oh,
went.
no, I saw that
Yeah,
you went.
and
Yeah,
my cousin is a 9-year-old and is like a riff master.
Donkey was there too. What we were talking about.
Of course he was there. Yeah, And this kid, I brought my guitar for him, and he's just like crushing riffs at 9. And then we watched the song, we watched the band play a song, and then at 1 a.m. we get back, and he's like pulling up the riff on YouTube and like learning. It's awesome.
That's
good
impressive.
for him. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I've told myself if I commit a certain number of hours or whatever to playing, then I can allow myself to buy another guitar, but not until then. Especially because Misha gave me that Jackson.
That's a beautiful guitar.
It's been hanging on the wall for a year and a half. I've played it twice. It's a beautiful thing to hang on the wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. No, that's my thing. I have one by my desk,
Yeah.
acoustic, and I just at least 20, 30 minutes every day because like your fingers are stupid and like I'm doing these exercises. You're like, oh my God, I didn't realize how bad like your ring, it's not even your pinky, your ring finger's like the worst one.
You gotta get them used to that.
But I love the journey as a 43-year-old.
You know what?
cool.
It's better.
That's cool.
It's such a better use of your time than scrolling
Doom
Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I really need to focus.
But the
more
crazy
energy
thing
on it.
is, to bring it back to what the rest of this shit, I thought cars were expensive. Mountain bikes are crazy expensive. And then guitars, I already own 4 guitars. And I've been playing since January.
Bro, I have 35 watches.
You do?
I think so.
I thought you had like 8.
That doesn't surprise me.
I have a
that's-
lot.
8 would be low.
I have a lot. I
would be low.
have.
I like that one. That's the Fordite
This
one,
is
right?
the Argonaut Fordite, which
Yeah,
is
I love-
incredible.
I love when
These
they-
guys
people
are,
do stuff out of Fordite.
Everyone is totally unique. They're fantastic.
That's cool.
I
I
love
still
this
feel bad I didn't buy one of the notices, and I appreciate
get the
texting
orange.
me.
Do you want
I
the
know.
orange?
I might jump on the orange.
Well, you better tell me soon if you want it.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Well, because it's going to go to open allocation soon. If you want it, you can choose your own serial
Oh, I can do it
number.
right now?
Yeah, like
Oh.
today, if you want one.
Oh, okay.
That's why
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
here, Jeff.
Yeah,
Can
you're
I
here,
interest
You're
you?
here so I can sell you a watch.
What do I have
no,
to do to get you?
no, but if seriously, if you want the orange, like you got to tell me now.
Okay.
Not like now, but
Right,
like
right.
in the next day or two.
Oh, shit.
Bring in our salesman, Sam Bankman-Fried.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
And we're talking about our next Notice watch, and I'm so excited because we have some awesome ideas.
Should I wait?
No. It's gonna. I'll
because
tell you.
these sell out, so
I'll tell you what it's going to be after the show, and you tell me if you want. I
tell
don't
you
give a
what
fuck.
car is gonna
Buy one, don't buy one. But if you want one, I want you to have it.
Well, I talked to Johnny about it, and he's like, "We should support each other." And I'm like, "That's a really good thing."
He
to
bought
say."
one.
I know, and then
Johnny
he
bought
made,
one.
that, like when he said that,
So
it made me feel
legit.
bad about not buying one.
No.
I was like, dude, I just bought a guitar.
You don't. I don't expect anything, but it was very nice of him to express that sentiment and to buy one, and I really appreciate it. But I don't expect it. But if you want one, I want you to. Bottom
he
line,
invited
hear a
back-
funny watch I
he
did
invited
just
back
buy?
every
if you
quarter.
want one, I want to make sure you get it.
No,
That's
you
the
don't.
bottom
You want
line.
to hear a funny watch I did just buy? So when Nissan put out the press release for the Safari Z tribute at SEMA, did you see that they also did a watch with Seiko?
No.
So they did a watch with Seiko. There's
Can
only
you get- I need a
240
picture of that.
pieces.
Yeah?
And it said it goes on sale October 31st. This was like the 29th. And I clicked the link to buy it.
The Nismo
and it was
Safari
live.
Z what? Oh wow.
It was, I
Okay.
know. Oh, no, I know. Hold on. And it was live to buy it already. I'm like, and I just wanted to see what happens. It was $299.
Yeah.
And it said order went through. And it said you can only buy 2 at a time. I only bought 1. And it came the other day. I got that watch. I was like, oh, that's funny.
I gotta
And
be
so
honest, I don't love it.
No, I know. I actually do like the strap though, because the strap in person is more comfortable than just a cheapy nylon.
Okay.
So then I went on the website to see if there were still any for sale. There's still 155 for sale. And it's like they're like, we're only making 240 of these. I'm like, did I get something? Because I was like, I'm gonna put it on StockX or something.
Yeah.
Dude,
I had
no
to
one
say
has
it's,
bought these watches.
It's not great.
No.
Yeah, it's
but I
not
love
great.
Seiko.
Of
but-
course, I love Seiko
But it's
too.
like
I'm
there's no like,
diehard
there's like no
Seiko.
weight to it.
Oh,
Not that
that's a
Seikos are
bummer.
heavy, but like normally there's like a little bit of weight.
Yeah. That's
And on the
not-
back, it does say like X number of 240. Like
it's individually numbered.
they're
too?
individually numbered on the back. That's why I was like, oh, maybe I'll blah blah. I'll sell it to some
yeah,
dipshit.
unfortunately, that's not
That was
great.
a bad.
but-
Not to some dipshit.
I mean, at least it was like. At
I'm
least
the
it was
dipshit, 'cause
cheap.
I
You
bought
are.
it. I'm the dipshit.
Turns out you're
I'm gonna
the
go back and
dipshit.
buy the rest of them just so I can be like, there's none left. If you want one,
It says Board Ape
gonna
Yacht
spend
Club on the
30,000.
back. I'm not
That's
sure why.
hilarious.
Dude,
yeah,
because I saw the
Seiko
press
Z
release.
NFT.
I saw.
Yeah.
I saw the press release, clicked the link. It said it wasn't going to be available to buy for 2 more days, but it was. I saw that 2 had already sold. I'm like, I can buy this now. Before I'm like, I'll buy one. It's $299.
I mean, low risk, relatively low risk.
And I even was texting Nick at DC Vintage. He's like, not every watch is an investment. Like this was like before.
Oh my God! When the vintage Seiko dealer is like a subtle nah.
When I first told him, not even after I got it. When I first told him, and then I got it, and I'm like, dude, this is selling as well as the Z car.
No. Shout out to DC Vintage Watches calling it like he sees it.
He was accurate.
Yeah,
I should send it to the dude in Australia, Vintage Seiko, who's another great Seiko follower.
Yeah, I love my Seiko.
Espionage.
So my watches are I have one case that's Rolex. I have one case that's Seiko and Grand Seiko, and I have one case that's micro brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, when we go home later,
Is there other stuff though? Like you don't just have. You have like other things though, right?
Yeah, they go in the mic. They
like
go
Omega is not a.
I have one Omega. I have a Speedmaster.
Okay.
It's an old
like
one.
No Breitlings. No.
No, I have.
Stick to the.
I have. These are. I mean, this
you stick
is
to the ones that are that go up in value.
No. That's not. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not necessarily true. I buy what I like.
Okay.
And when you come over after this, when we go have dinner at the crib, you'll see what's in the cases, and it's like it just is. It's broken down into that way. There's a Rolex case, a Seiko case, and a micro brand case, and that's.
He doesn't have
one
a
case.
Nissan Z watch.
Dude, I gotta fucking.
You want to flip this thing?
Got a hot
It's rarer than any of that shit.
290 limited,
240,
bro.
240.
Right? Yeah. Shit.
It's so funny.
We better go to the Patreon so we can talk about cars on this show for fucking 5
I was
minutes.
just gonna suggest that.
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
always feel bad.
Dude, listen. If this show was only about cars, I'd fucking kill myself.
That's funny
the
because
best part of this show
not cars.
is that it's not always about cars.
So when I revived Hooniverse podcast, I did like 65 or so episodes with Ron, who's a great co-host. I miss doing it with Ron, but I just got busy because the show, Auto Trader's my day job. They're fortunate to let me still do Hooniverse stuff and do Motor Trend stuff. It's great. But there were episodes with Ron where I'd started off and we'd talk about like men's health.
Yeah.
And I would disclaimer it, and then it would only last like 15 minutes, then we would get into cars. But it felt good to like,
dude,
let's talk about like mental health, blah, blah, blah.
The best part about having your own studio and your own podcast is about whatever the fuck you want it to be about.
Yeah.
And so,
I'm sorry.
huh?
I'm sorry. Keep
It's
it
okay.
in the mic.
Zach, will you do me a favor, please? And will you text Hannah and tell her that we're 15 minutes behind for our dinner?
Traffic.
Yeah, traffic's a bitch. Traffic's a bitch. We're only 15 minutes behind.
My car's slow too.
No, because we're gonna go have a little dinner. We're gonna get fucking at the crib, chill. But we have a lot of questions on the fucking Patreon. And at the same time, Zach, can you move the clicker?
Cosgrove. I already see the second question.
Christian says, let's go to the
wait.
Patreon, of course. If you want to get an ad-free listening experience, ask questions on our show, and get a whole bunch of other shit, it's patreon.com/the Smoking Tire Podcast. Christian says, is it me or has Audi lost its way with its interiors? 2016, they were top tier. They have a lack of interior color choices as well.
I think of the luxury cars, I think they're the nicest interiors. I think this, like, if you're going to do the screens, their screens
Have you been
look
in a
nice.
Bentley GT recently? Bentleys are
I borrowed that
Bentleys
crazy
are fire.
green.
The one I had, the
I
one
had it like a
you
week
had it
before you.
Yeah,
At the wedding,
with
I was
the,
best
with
man.
the stone dash.
I drove them in that.
Fire.
Yeah, I drove that one.
Fire.
Yeah, that car was sick.
Yes.
I think Audi's crushing their interiors. I haven't been in a BMW in a while. I don't think they like me, which is totally fine. I don't like them. And Mercedes, as much as I love Mercedes
The
is like,
screens.
they've gotten better. For a while, they had that like old dial, like yellowish looking shit.
Yeah.
I think Audi crushes their interiors. I don't know. I like them.
I love an Audi in the mid-range. The very high end, I think it's a little too digital disco, but everyone kind of is.
I had an RSQ8 recently back east for the 50th in-laws 50th anniversary. I picked them up in the airport in it. Thing was. My mother-in-law was like, it sounds like every now and then the car makes a weird noise. I'm like, that's literally me letting off the throttle and the exhaust goes, bah.
That's a burble tune, Mom.
Yeah.
Audis are very kind of spacey interiors in terms of the number of screens and everything is haptic. They're functional, they're effective. I'm not inspired by their interiors the way I am with companies that are doing knobs and stuff. But you have to actually go a step up to get that, I think.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting in a few years when there's like, oh, we're going back. Like, there's going to be a push back to knobs
Yeah.
at
Oh,
some
yeah.
point.
Well, now, I mean, it's even now. Knobs and buttons are luxurious now. If you look at like Rimac or Rimats, I apologize. I as many times as I want to, I can't fucking say Rimats. But
yeah.
you get at the very high end, you're getting or Zenvo. We had the chairman of Zenvo on the podcast. You know, they are really focusing on
Something tactile. Yeah. Yep.
Michael says, "What became of the Hemi swap to Mercedes?"
It still exists. The Hemi is long since sold because there was no way the packaging was going to work. I haven't really said this much, but there is an engine for it. It is 5.3 liter base, so that's
So it's an LS.
Yeah, well, the truck version, which
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can turn into an LS.
It's not an L. It's an LT.
LQ, I believe.
LQ. Yeah.
It's at a shop where they're extremely busy doing a lot of other stuff. They're not charging me to keep the car there, so I'm not pushing to get it done. But it is. I still own it, and it's been a non-op since longer than I've had a child, who's 8. Since I've had that car,
It'll
I've
be
become
her
a
16th
homeowner.
birthday gift.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Life has gone
she gets
on,
Montero.
unfortunately.
No, it will happen someday, but wait and see.
Yeah. Austin says, "What's the most unfit or out of place vehicle each of you have seen in the wild?" Now, it's an interesting question.
But look at his follow-up.
and then suggests
Via cross on snow tracks
a
sounds
Via cross
fucking
on snow
amazing.
tracks, which would be crazy. If I saw that, I'd fucking probably lose my shit.
That's awesome.
But so I am not going to say what they're probably expecting. They're probably expecting me to say some fucking huge truck in the city, when in reality I'm going to say a Ferrari 488 Spider on Nantucket.
Oh,
Nantucket is about 10 miles by 6 miles.
yeah.
And
I was going to say anything fast in Hawaii.
yeah,
similar.
the speed limit is like 45 on the
probably
whole island.
Belichick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
My favorite, best lobster roll I ever had, Edgartown. Shout.
I love Nantucket. Yeah.
Mine was we were shooting a raptor video in an off-road area near where I live. It's not a technical area. It's just I can make it look like there's mountains in the background, all this stuff. We were shooting the close of the video, and in the background, to get to a hiking trail, a gold chrome wrapped Lexus IS drove down the trail. Wow! And I'm like, I left it in the video. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. You shouldn't be driving that here, but.
Have you ever? I love the
Fantastic.
memes I've seen every once in a while, and I've experienced it in person, where you're driving an off-road truck or off-road vehicle in a very remote area,
Yeah.
and there's like a Camry, like a 10-year-old
Or
Camry
no, it's
on the
usually
trail.
like a fucking minivan.
Yeah.
that shouldn't be there.
Well, the town car in Moab was the classic one. Like the
yeah,
old guy,
yeah.
he's got bikes hanging out the back of an open trunk, and he's on the Jeep trail, and everyone's like, "Where are you going, man?" He's like, "Going home" or whatever, and he
Is
just
it lifted?
No, he just kind of. And
Oh, he
ju-
scrapes the bumper.
He scrapes the
Yeah,
bumper
yeah.
and he just puts it down because it's slick rock. So
Yeah.
if it's not wet, it's okay, and he just motors on up there.
Yeah.
it's good.
Awesome, so good.
Ryan says, you ever notice how over time your fast cars feel slower and your slow cars feel faster? As I get better as a driver, I can squeeze more out of the slow cars and stay out of trouble, but I can't say that for the fast cars. I've become accustomed to their speed. I don't agree with the precedent or with the question per se. I don't necessarily think the fast cars feel slower, but I took my 328 to Good Vibes this morning, and I just had such a nice time. And we were up on the same roads with the 1,000 horsepower Hennessy Cadillac.
Oh, right.
And we were up there with the Maserati MC20 Cielo. And I had such a nice time engaging with the machinery of a gated shifter and a lightweight small car. You know, I just didn't give a shit how fast I was going.
Right.
And that was really it. It wasn't like, oh, it feels faster, it feels slower. It's just like I was having such a nice time engaging with this machine that I didn't give a shit.
No, that's the best type of driving.
Yeah.
I think when you don't care, and when it's something where you're not feeling like it's not high strung. It's not crazy. And then on the flip side, talking about slow cars. So my daily driver is very slow. It's a 91 Montero with the 3-liter V6, but I drive the absolute piss out of it. I'm doing 80, 85 on the freeway. I'm passing people, and I drive the hell out of it, and that feels good too. Getting back to him talking about like slower, going faster.
Yeah.
I guarantee if someone hopped into it, they can't take an off ramp like as quickly as I. Like I'll lose people in an off ramp sometimes, and it just
Because you
I'm like,
know
I
the
know
limit of it.
I know the limit of it.
Yeah.
I love that car. Yeah.
I just, something about those 80s through early 2000s cars where you still had that level of reliability, and you can trust it enough to drive into a remote area.
Oh yeah.
It's still, in some cars, still light enough, still engaging enough where you're talking to a machine. That's important.
100%.
Much more so than the bragging rights. Don't get me wrong. In the right situation, 1,000 horsepower CT5 Blackwing is a hoot.
Yes.
But did I have more fun going up that road in the Blackwing than I had going up in my 328, which was 275 horsepower? Not really.
No, because I've gotten good vibes in a Nissan Z press car, and then like a week later I went in my Montero, and my dog puked in the Montero. But we had fun.
Guy showed up this morning in a lifted Sienna.
Oh, sweet! That's awesome.
First gen. It was old school.
That's rad.
Josh said my wife's friend needs help replacing her Dodge Caravan 50K max budget, lives in rural Washington State, wants 4-wheel drive with ground clearance, loves camping but sleeps in the Caravan, so it needs to be roomy.
Likes Bronco Sport but too small. I mean, you could probably, at this point, can't you pick up like a 1-year-old Bronco?
Or can't you,
Yeah.
I mean,
Full size?
even if you don't, yes, possibly, but also couldn't you pick up like a Hyundai Palisade?
Yes.
Or-
used?
Yes,
Or
the
50
Hyundai Telluride.
A Kia Telluride.
50
Kia
grand,
Telluride
you could get a
was the same
Lexus
car.
GX.
You could get a Lexus
use one,
GX.
true.
I mean, 50 grand will get you a pretty
grand is
nice
tons
used
of
Land
money.
Cruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, no, Land Cruiser. The new one will be more than that.
You could get a Toyota Sienna and put a lift kit on it.
You could
if
probably get
really-
a couple years old Sequoia, which would be good.
Right.
Like, tons of room to sleep in.
Right. You could get an Infinity QX.
Don't do that.
Giant.
That's just mean.
Get one used from
Well, you could
Enterprise.
get a Nissan
for,
Armada,
like-
though.
What's the difference?
I just think the
it's the same
QX
shit.
is so huge but has so little room inside. It just feels tight and
probably
cramped and
cheaper.
old. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
50K?
Sequoia.
50K gets you so much full-sized SUV.
Grand
Like,
Cherokee.
so much.
Yeah.
You get an amazing Suburban in mint condition,
Yes.
and do a mild lift kit and some ATs,
Or
and
save
you're-
money because go a little bit lower. Tahoe.
Yeah, if you don't need the
Expedition.
length, Tahoe, Suburban, whatever. If you don't need the length,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Tons of shit.
yeah.
God, I wish I had 50 to spend.
Stop buying bikes, bicycles, and
No,
guitars.
I'll tell you, the bike I have right now, I got it's a very good deal.
Dre in Houston says, how serious do you think Mazda is about this latest rotary hybrid concept? I think they are serious, and actually I think that a rotary engine makes a great generator
Yes.
for a hybrid.
Well, they use it right now for a CX-30.
Yeah.
Oh, they do?
Yep. They have a.
But everybody hates that car.
Well, but do they hate the powertrain? Do they hate the programming of the
know.
powertrain?
I've
I don't
never
know.
driven
But
one.
they currently use a rotary engine.
I did not know that.
I don't think it's in the United States.
Oh,
I
okay,
actually
okay,
didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Their marketing needs work if neither of us knew that. Yeah. I mean, but a rotary engine is smooth and revs, and
Yeah.
and it has poor fuel economy under load, but not necessarily
gonna be-
poor
yeah.
fuel economy when it's not under load.
Right.
So why not?
No, I think it's a good question.
Yeah. Murray says, thoughts on the 2025 Ram Charger. I think it's a good concept.
Oh man, I
I'm
kind of
into
want
it.
one.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Also, a good reuse of the name Ram Charger.
Excellent.
It's
use.
a great fucking use of the name.
So I put out a video. So for Auto Trader, my daily grind, I make news videos for Auto Trader out of my garage, and I put one up on the Ram Charger like day of as it came out because I didn't have the advanced news on that, and it blew up for us. The comments are like 50-50, you know,
Yeah.
like terrible and some terrible, some intriguing. I think it's brilliant. I think it's an awesome use of it. I think it's I'm really intrigued by it. It's an EV truck with a range extender, so you can tow with it. You're not worried about range. You're not worried about all this stuff. And then just driving around town, you'll never use the range extender. I mean, I think it's a great and the Rams have the better interior of the big three.
Yeah.
They have the better ride because they have
Yeah.
the rear coils. And,
Yeah.
you know, and this one's on air. But
On the other hand, it's probably going to be heavy.
Yeah.
it's going to be
And
super heavy.
It's going to be super heavy. It's going to be complicated, and I'm not into weight and complexity. But, if you want to use a truck for truck shit,
right.
and if you don't, like, for instance, if you're towing with a trailer, our current charge infrastructure, which is mostly
Pull-throughs,
nose
yeah, you
in,
need pull-through.
they don't have a lot of pull-throughs.
Right.
This does patch, it doesn't solve, but it patches that problem for
Right.
the time being.
Yeah. It's a big patch. Yeah.
It's a huge patch.
Stop at a Flying J in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And, like, I get it.
The name is great.
The name is great. I love the fucking name.
Yeah.
Love it. And actually, Tim Kaniskis's people reached out to us, and he wants to come on the show and talk about it.
I'm sure.
And I would be happy to have him.
I mean, yeah, I think it's brilliant.
I
love
think
it.
it's a very interesting concept. I wonder, there's probably a very straightforward explanation of why it's got to be a 6-cylinder and not a 4-cylinder per
Johnny
se.
did a good thing on this on his Instagram where so the 4-cylinder would have been a 4-cylinder turbo most likely, and so you have extra complexity and cooling needs with the turbo. Naturally aspirated 3.6, you don't need that. There's no transmission,
Right.
Because it's technically an EV. So like the needs of that engine
need
are nothing.
But why do you need a turbo if there's no transmission? You can't
maybe just a
You can't spin a
non-turbocharged-
generator with a fucking
No, you
4-cylinder.
can. I think it's just
Maybe
but
it's not
the
enough.
increased drag will charge it more quickly, right?
And
so
also could be packaging with like
Maybe, I don't
that
know.
too.
longitudinal.
Like I said,
transverse.
there's probably a straightforward answer to this
Yeah,
question.
Tim would be here, he'd be
that
like,
I would like to answer.
this.
That I'd like Tim to answer. Yeah, and I'm not trying to be like a straight naysayer.
No,
but like,
no, of
But
course.
this seems a much better use of technology than
Yes.
like the Hummer EV.
Right, and I say that as someone I will own a gas car for a very, very, very long time. My wife's next car will probably be electric, which I'm excited about. I actually really like EVs, but this concept is awesome.
Yeah. Choonhound says that I've been talking a lot lately about miles being cheap in terms of collectible cars, but I've also been a bit of a bitch in terms
words.
of driving my M3 and my NSX. Which is it? I think that's a bit of a mischaracterization. I was a bitch.
You don't think you're a bitch?
No. I was a bitch with my BMW M3, and that's because the low miles and the condition of that car contributed in an outsized way to the value of that car. That was a really expensive car, and the expensiveness of it didn't come from rarity. It came from condition.
Sure. Do you
And
still
so
have it?
Huh?
Do you still have it?
I sold it.
Okay.
And I'm doing a video on Monday where we will find out who I sold it to and why. And it will be interesting. And I'll tell you the story after the show. I can't reveal it yet, but we're doing a video about it. But it was a big money car in. It was a big money car out. But the problem with that car was the money was the condition.
Yeah.
And so with the NSX, there is condition, there is low miles, there's also rarity. I'm not being a bitch about the NSX. I'm not. I put paint protection film on it. I serviced it. I intend to drive it. In a recent episode, I talked about the fact that I took it up the Malibu Canyons during the Santa Ana winds, and it got blasted with
Yeah,
gravel.
sure.
And did that make me stressed out?
Yeah,
Yes, it
that
did.
sucks.
But that's not me being a bitch.
No.
I don't care about it's not that I don't care about the miles, but I have enough cars. The miles aren't a thing. The condition isn't it's the rarity of the car carries it because it's an 05. It's a very rare car, 248 total builds in 05.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's it. And so I don't believe I'm being a bitch in the NSX. I think I'm being cautious, but not a bitch.
No.
There's a difference.
It's funny. I had one time I posted a picture in the Montero of me and like a pay and wash your car thing.
Right.
And someone's like, dude, you can't use those brushes. I'm like, I literally just drove this thing through bushes. Yeah. Like, the fuck are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah. the NSX. I will care for it as best I can. I will keep it in the best condition I can. But the M3. I'd wash my hands before I'd get in it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear jeans.
I only ever saw it at Venice House, and like open the door, you're like, it smells brand new.
It was silly. It was silly.
It was the exact opposite of Zach's car.
Yes,
Well,
it
but
is.
that's
Very true.
But that's the thing.
No offense.
But
I know that.
The
I put
thing is,
50,000 miles on my car.
I mean, but that's sort of the thing. Imagine jumping through those hoops.
Time capsule. Yeah.
And then meanwhile, here's Zach dailying the same car. Like it's so clearly it's like the responsibility of keeping it in this condition for the value isn't worth
Which
the
is almost a
trade-off.
bummer because it's such a
Look,
driver's car.
what happened was we had this project E46 for that eBay series we did, and then I went, well, if this is the shittiest one, imagine what the best one would be.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
I bought the best one, and what I should have done was buy an M3 with
mediocre.
60,000
Yeah.
miles on it,
Like a good
and
one.
ripped
Yeah.
like a good one, just a good one.
How many
And
NSXs did they make?
in 2005 they made 248.
Was that the
total,
last
total.
year?
Oh, like maybe like 8,000 or 9,000.
Okay,
Oh,
because
you
they
have,
made 56,000 M3 coupes. So
But like
highlighting the lack
NSXs
of
are
rarity.
heavily front loaded to the early 90s. Like in 91, they made like 10,000.
Is that the last
And they
year?
went 05 was the last year.
Yeah, right.
So, by the time
non-pop-ups, it has,
yeah,
okay, right.
by the time they got to 05, it was the end. So an 05 is very, very rare.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm not trying to be a bitch. I'm going to drive it with miles be damned.
Right.
I don't care. I'm going to keep it nice, but but yes, miles are cheap if the low mileage isn't the main reason for the value of the vehicle. If you buy a car that's rare or desirable, the miles themselves are cheap, I believe.
Yeah.
E46 M3s are not inherently rare.
Right.
They are relatively common in the grand scheme of collector cars.
Yeah.
So, yeah, miles are cheap. I agree. Mr. Bookman says, Jeff, your review of the updated Volvo V60 Polestar was awesome. You seemed very passionate about the car. Wondered if you considered getting one for your family.
I did. My wife even likes the Volvo interior. The problem is that car is $72,000, so it's a bit out of our budget. However, when I co-founded Hooniverse, Tim, my buddy, I co-founded with him. He just bought a used one that's only 1 or 2 years old because of my video. He's like, you just cost me $70,000 because it's his wife's car. I would love it. It is a fantastic, the T8 Polestar V60.
Fantastic.
455 horsepower. I don't know if you still get it, but for a while when it was the plug-in hybrid, you could, they were still carpool lane eligible too.
I don't think you can anymore.
I don't think it is,
anymore.
but God,
Hannah and I are
absolutely.
looking at an XC60 recharge for our next car, which with the wool interior.
Yeah.
I'm so into it.
Absolutely. consider
V60
it for a
Polestar is
family.
very nice.
Oh my God, I love it.
Ryan, long comment, but we appreciate you. Flannel Bob says, if you were to design your own car and use an animal as your inspiration, what animal would you choose? I got to say cat. A cat is a very efficient animal. Uses its body very efficiently. Very energy efficient.
question.
Very
That'd be good
very
for an off-roader.
aggressive. Cat
Worked for Jaguar for a long
like
time.
works for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, you can sell them on cars and
Anyone? You got an animal for me?
I'm trying to think. That's a great question. I'm trying to think like a dumb animal. I'd be like a manatee. Oh shit! I don't have a good answer for that. I want to think about that though, and I'm going to come back on a
tough.
podcast in like
Yeah.
a year, and be like, "Football." I thought of an animal.
Tyler wants to give a shout out to Be the Match. Gave a donation yesterday. Thank you very much. Of course, go to my Instagram. Look at the only pinned post to win one of the only prototype of my watch collab that we are not producing. The teal dial. It's one of one prototype, production ready. It's a totally functional watch. There's the only one we're making, and the only way to win is to donate, sign up for Be the Match, to donate blood or platelets, or to donate, if you can't, I really would prefer you sign up for Be the Match or donate physical blood or platelets, because there's a massive national shortage of both. If you are physically unable to do those things and you want to donate to bethematch.org, you can do that too.
And then you got to spit 20 bars.
All
according to the watch.
20 bar. That's the depth gauge, yo. All of the entries are coming in, and
That's awesome.
And the winner of the watch, it's not, you don't just get the watch. If you're in North America, I'm going to fly you to LA and put you up to collect it in person from me, and I'm also going to take you in the canyons in one of my cars.
And if you win in LA, we'll see you.
If you win in LA, I'll put you up in a nice fucking hotel.
Right.
Get you up at the Chateau.
Oh, damn.
You and Donnie.
Yeah.
Donnie. Donnie's great. Every time Donnie will send me a bill for tens of thousands of dollars for my car.
Yeah.
I'll pay the bill.
Oh, and he goes.
And the very next night, his Instagram is like, Chateau.
Paris, Chateau, whatever. Yeah.
I'm out of the desert.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Donnie's on the float. I don't give a fuck.
Keeps the cars running.
The 328 runs so great,
Nice.
I literally don't give a fuck.
All right.
I don't care if he spends my money at the Chateau because my cars run perfect.
Someone at the bar is like, so what do you do? He's like, he just shows him
What
your
do you do?
Instagram.
Yeah.
His garage
Here's
is full
my
of
patron.
Ferraris, full of
We have a
Ferraris.
Patreon, and my Patreon. Donnie has a Patreon with one patron. Oh my God. No, Donnie
yeah,
has many
basically, yeah.
patrons. But is this the
awesome.
end? Is this the last one, Zach?
Affirmative.
This is the end.
Affirmative. All right, we'll be ready for fucking dumplings. Justin says in one of his videos, Ed Bolian said, "Lotuses are for people who don't know Caymans exist. Interested in your thoughts as I've driven neither." That is a comment from someone who's never watched our videos.
I get
Well, we know there's not a 100% crossover
I
between
get
podcast
what
and
he's
whatever.
saying because there's more room, and a Lotus or a Cayman is a better car, but a Lotus is like a different experience.
We've said in the Evoras, in the Amiras, we've said it repeatedly.
Right.
If you don't want or can't get a Cayman, this is the best car.
Yeah.
And either of those things is fine. Don't want or can't get. You can be in somewhere where people have Porsches and you want to have something different, and that's okay.
Yeah. That's why I've always liked Vantages over 911.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
I drove 911s. I was like, oh, shit, these are way better.
Well, yeah. I mean, I tell, Amiras are awesome. Evoras are awesome.
Yeah.
And unless you drive one back to back with a Cayman, like they're the fucking best.
But I think some of this goes back to what we talked about. Kaiser, he's saying, someone asked him, why do you feel bad that your body kits and some of the stance stuff you do makes good cars drive bad? And he said, and he was saying, well, in the future, I'm going to work on some projects that drive good. But for him, it was like, it's expression, which, that's what art is. And I think a lot of us modify cars in ways that we just go, I like the way this looks or the way this feels. Some people want performance more. I know when I was in my 20s, I was much more against anyone who modified a car that didn't work perfectly.
Right.
I was like, well, that's going to sacrifice, which is so stupid. Like, do whatever you want. But, where to start with?
If you want a
Caymans-
Lotus, you want a
Caymans-
Oh
Lotus.
yeah, but the Lotus, like, it looks totally different. You won't see as many of them. It's not as good at all the things you do with a car as a Cayman.
Yeah.
But it is more interesting, and I think better
like, I
looking,
mean,
and it also rides a little better.
That's how if you see someone bought like a Gracale, you're like, oh, interesting choice.
Yeah.
If everyone had the exact same car, we've complained about this before. We've gone to Cars and Coffee, and you see 15 silver GT3s.
Oh, yeah.
And great car, but in isolation. But
Yeah.
you see all
this
that, you're
silver,
like,
though.
who cares?
This is PTS.
Yeah.
This is my grandfather's watch.
Yeah, it's different silver than
In
my
the
neighbor's
shop,
silver.
they're like, no, it's the regular.
If you're gonna go PTS and it's a variant of gray or black, just
don't.
Don't.
Yeah.
Just don't. But the Lotuses are lovely.
Yeah.
They're so nice to drive. They're so nice to look at. The modern ones work well. The Amira is a real total package kind of car. Zach and I did like 800 miles in one in a week in England, plus the miles we did here
Nice.
and they're great. They're fantastic. I don't necessarily disagree with Ed, but I think it discounts
Oh, sure. Yeah.
it puts an objectivity on it that doesn't really exist.
Right.
Whereas it's like when I in 2006, I wanted out of my Hummer H1 so bad because it was so fucking horrible, and I could have bought an STI or an Evo. It was a STI Hawkeye or an Evo. I think it was an 8 at the time.
yeah.
And then I drove a John Cooper Works Mini.
Oh, yeah.
And I had literally, until someone was like, have you ever driven a John Cooper Works? I'd never heard of John Cooper Works.
Right. Who the fuck's John?
And on paper, the STI and the Evo are objectively, they're faster, they handle better, blah, blah. But then I drove the John Cooper Works Mini. I was like, I don't know anybody that's got one of these. This is total, and it goes, when I hit the fucking gas, it goes, because it had the supercharger whine. I was like, that doesn't sound like a fucking other car. Like, this is a totally different thing that has its own, and on a track, it probably would lose to an Evo. And objectively, and if it was a magazine comparison test, it probably wouldn't win.
Right.
But goddamn, if I didn't have 4 great years in that John Cooper Works Mini, that was awesome, and I never heard of it before.
That's how I feel. I mean, that's how I feel about, in a different but same vein, about my Montero. I never see first gen Monteros. Everybody has. I wanted FJ60. I couldn't afford one at the time because prices were already going up. I thought about an older Land Cruiser or a Land Rover, but I was like, I don't know. And then I stumbled into the world of Monteros. I'm like, and now I love driving this thing that I rarely see another one on the road.
They're great.
And there's something to be said for that is there's an ethereal quality of sports cars that's more than just, well, this one's objectively better
100%.
than the.
Who cares about what
another
paper
one.
says?
Otherwise, people wouldn't buy Ferraris as much as they do over Porsches. Like,
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Every supercar technically is a piece of shit.
That's also
if you
good.
drive it for a little bit.
Right.
They're all garbage.
Yeah. Put enough miles on any supercar and you realize they suck.
Oh, God.
Well, Jeff Glucker is on head-to-head drag race on Motor Trend, and of course, Hooniverse, all the things. Thanks for joining us and fucking crushing this whiskey today, bro.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad this show is only a third about cars. That makes me very happy.
Yeah. Guitars, baby.
Yeah, that's right, Habibi. All right, thanks to our patrons for asking great questions today. We appreciate it. Of course, if you want the best way to support the show, join the Patreon, get in the game. Plans as low as $2.99 a month. And Zach, anything else to promote?
No.
Great. See you next week. Bye.
I'll be at Zany's.